Ready? It's Chaz or Yin Me Slipper, whatever you want to call me. Sorry, I've got a laptop down here. This isn't the way I wanted to bring back the series, but I have to bring it back. Newcastle takeovers failed, which I'm quite absolutely gutted by. I thought this was the big breakthrough that we needed to get back into Europe, you know. When a bloody trophy, I mean, Christ, last time Newcastle won a trophy, I wasn't even alive. Last time they were in Champions League, I wasn't alive. Last time they were in Europe, I think I was about, well, they were in the Europa League, I think I was about 5. You know, I don't have proper memories of Newcastle being in Europe or signing big players, you know, like they used to, like Shearer, Christ, signed Rodhula at one point. Appointed him as manager before Mike Ashley came in. Well, a lot of you have heard my opinion of Mike Ashley. You heard a lot of Newcastle fans' opinions of Mike Ashley. So basically, for those that don't know, I'm gonna fill you in with what happened today. Well, it's afternoon, reported on by basically every media outlet. The Newcastle takeover has shut down. There was a consortium, which is basically, it's full of investors. We had the Reuben brothers, two of the wealthiest people in Britain. We had the Saudi royal family, as a lot of you will know, Crown Prince bin Salman. He was meant to be one of the lead figures in this, and Miss Amanda Staveley, who's tried to buy us before. She's tried to buy Liverpool before. I'm sure she actually helped, I'm not too sure about this, but I think she helped the people who own Liverpool take power of the club. Basically, she was trying to do the same as Newcastle, except she would have been one of the board of directors as of when the Liverpool takeover happened. She backed out of the club immediately. Whereas of now, her and her PCP Capital Payment Partners. I've got my notes right here. Yep, anyway, her consortium, basically, PCP, were trying to take the majority control of Newcastle, along Crown Prince bin Salman and the Reuben brothers, and a little bit into the Saudi royal family. They are the richest family in the world. Their estimated value is at 360 billion. They put 3 months ago, which, Christ, a long time ago, nearly 4. We're just going into August. So basically, back in March, they put in a £300 million bid to take over Newcastle. Amanda Staveley's tried many times before, basically to help other people take over the club. I don't know if she's a supporter or not, but obviously I am. But yeah, she's tried to help many people take over the club. There was a £300 million bid put in by the royal family, which was eventually, the Saudi royal family, which was eventually accepted by Mike Ashley. There was a couple of bids put in last year in the range of 150 to 200 million, which to people who don't watch football, basically, that is a lot of money, but in football terms, that's a lot for a player, but not a lot for a club. Real Madrid's estimated value is at 1.7 billion, as my notes say. They are the most valuable club in the world. So is Manchester United. Obviously, they're second. But yeah, we were wanting to get up there because football's basically became more than 22 guys in a pitch kicking a ball about. It's became money. The Premier League payout hefty sums of money they pay out over, you're looking at about 1.5 billion a season to 20 teams. It's 184 million. 184 million for winning the league. For finishing rock bottom of the league, it's roughly 75 million you're getting paid, which it's mad. I mean, Christ, for winning the Champions League, you only get about 78 million, and that's the most prestigious competition in the world. Sorry, tripod's a bit shaky, but yeah, that's the most prestigious competition in the world. I mean, sorry, it's just, I'm really gutted at the moment. But here's my view on the entire situation so far. I first heard the news the day literally the bid was launched. Obviously it was kept out of the public for a while, but until Miss Stavely came out and confirmed it herself, Newcastle basically, I know a lot of people that are fans, and we basically erupted over it. I'm not happy with the way things went. Partly, mostly it's the Premier League to blame. A lot of you'll be thinking, oh, it's Mike Ashley's fault. No, it's the Premier League to blame. So for like a consortium or a company to take over a Premier League team, they have to sit various tests. Now obviously Saudi Arabia were very controversial because they had allegedly been pirating Premier League games on the system, and they were under the old leadership of the king, who's stepped back and let Crown Prince Salman take reins of the country. He was censoring out a lot of things. Obviously they were pirating the games, taking things, censoring them, removing certain ad sponsors that would appear on the LED boards. A whole big thing kicked up about that. There's the fit and proper owners test, which the consortium obviously had to sit. And it usually only takes a few weeks to confirm. I mean, Christ, for what the Man City takeover, it only took between a month and 7 weeks for the takeover to be finalised. We were just about to move into the 16th week just because it was the richest family in the world that were wanting to buy shares in us. Amanda Stavely, she's very fond of the club. She was at a few games last season before this whole pandemic thing happened. She was there. She was observing quite a few players. She was promising changes to obviously our transfer policy under Mike Ashley. He's very strict with transfers. She was promising youth facilities were going to get fixed. The stadium's falling apart as well. I've seen quite a few photos of pillars and stuff beginning to rot away. Seats. They were planning on doing up the stadium, fixing that. Obviously, where St James's Park is positioned, they can't move the stadium back to bring in more seats because there's literally, I think it's a World Heritage Site behind the stand, so they can't push that back. There's a residential area on the other side of the stadium. It's basically new. St James's Park is surrounded. It's slap bang in the middle of the city, so there was nothing they could do to basically add more capacity. But they were wanting to bring in better players. They were promising a lot of things. They were promising change at the club, which we were all for because Mike Ashley claims to be a fan. But where was the money? That's one thing I've always wondered is how come you can't, for a guy that's worth about 700 million, well, he claims to be a billionaire, but people say he's only worth about 800 million. Where was the big money transfers coming in? Up until last season, our record transfer was 20 million. Now in football terms, that's nothing. The world record transfer, for those who don't watch football, is Neymar to PSG for about 225, possibly 245 million if you count add-ons. Players are getting paid insane wages as well. we weren't able to keep up with that. Under our previous owner, before Mike Ashley stepped in, we'd never been relegated before. Mike Ashley came in, we've been relegated twice. Once in the 08-09 season, and then my first relegation as a fan was in 2014-15 season. That season I have to admit, we were humiliated quite a fair bit. Bournemouth were recently just into the Premier League. I went to the game, we got beat 3-1 by them. The fans, the atmosphere at St James's Park's unbelievable. I mean, for a team that we've been treated so poorly by the owners, there's been a loyal fan base that was packing the stadium for week in, week out. Atmosphere's unbelievable in game day, it really is. I'm not happy with the way the club's been run. I'm not happy with player transfers coming in. I thought we were taking a step in the right direction with Mike Ashley last year when he'd went and forked out 40 million to bring in Joe Linton. He's turned out to not be a very good transfer at all. We had to rely on players like Dwight Gale. He had to step up. He started scoring goals. He started banging in goals. He was playing brilliant. Alain Saint-Maximin, a lot of you know him for his 20 million move to Newcastle. Well, 22 if you count add-ons. He was a record transfer till Joe Linton came in. Before that, it was Michael Owen, who turned out to not like the club, but we'll get into him at a later date. Yeah, it was unbelievable. The 40 million transfer was going in the right direction. Joe Linton, in the Bundesliga, had finished second and third top goal scorer for 2 odd seasons. He hot in goals for Hoffenheim. For us, he hot what? He's got 3 goals. 2 of them in the FA Cup and one's a tap-in the league. We had to rely on Dwight Gale. We had to rely on Saint-Maximin, Almiron, the Longstaff brothers at one point. We heavily had to loan in players last year. I'm not keen on the loan system, but we had to loan in Jetro Willems. We had to loan in Valentino Lazaro from Inter Milan. And now those 2 players are way back to the, obviously, are way back to their clubs. Which Willems is way back to Eintracht Frankfurt and Lazaro's way back to Inter. Which obviously leaves 2 massive holes in our defence. Javi Manquillo. I'm personally not keen on him. A lot of people said back in Spain he was a brilliant player. He's not showing up for us. I'm not keen on Matt Ritchie playing right wing back either. I think when we signed him, he played at a right mid or a right wing position. I think they should have kept him there. I don't think they should have allowed him to convert to a right wing back or a left wing back, whatever he plays. We've got 2 massive holes in our defence. Jamal Lascelles has let us down a little bit. He's failed to live up as a captain. And Martin Dubravka, I think he was one of our best players last season. Most saves in the league, which either tells you that he's a really good goalkeeper or our defence is terrible. He could be leaving us to go to AC Milan if Donnarumma leaves. So there's a lot of change that needs to be made at the club. I'm not happy with the takeover falling through. Thank you for taking your time to listen to my opinion on this. I do hope that you enjoyed this little rambling. I've started... This will be up on the Yin Wee Slipper channel and my new Toon Talk channel. This is where all future Toon Talk videos will be posted. So if you like this, I'm going to talk more Newcastle, more football. Head over there and subscribe. Thank you very much for listening. And I will see you in the next one. Goodbye.